Hi, I'm Ray Evernham. We're building a 1936 Chevy using old school ideas with new school technology. Welcome to Big Iron Garage. I've never had a car with a Watts link, so this is going to be different. You know, we've been up inside that thinking, okay, if we take that bearing, right, and it's got a top and a bottom, we've got to be able to get around the torque arm. But what I'm thinking, if you looked at the way you guys got that back bar, you know, the back main hoop, and then you got your triangle bar that comes across, right? Now we've got to tie those together for strength, right? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
So then we've got to put our rear shock mount up in there somewhere.
Right.
So we might as well, if we're coming down to the frame, right here, like just say if this was a frame, now we're looking at it from a different view. Let's take a bar and bend it up into that bar. So in other words, it'll be connected up in here, right? So you're going to have a piece of tubing that supports it so it can't push out one side or another. And it'll also help support the whatever rigidity we need for the rear spring. So if we can tie it all together like that, it'll keep the rear end centered. So again, when you talk about wanting this car to be a happy car, I want everything in the back to move slow. I want it to move together. So I want to try and make this stuff be neutral.
Yeah, I think that'll work.
How much more fun can you have than just sitting there drawing it out on a piece of paper with a Sharpie?
Yeah, well, this is the old school way. We use a ruler, a level, and draw it out.
Dan, you made up a box that's going to be representative of the CNR radiator, and we're putting the oil cooler in the bottom of the radiator. Like we do in the cup.
In back of it?
In back of it,
yeah,
right.
It'll be about the same size as the radiator.
When we put the body on this thing, we can't use a stock grill because it's really tall, but we want to take and make, you know, a representative of a 36, 37 Chevy grill kind of right here, and we'll take the air in, do water and oil cooling through there, and then transmission and rear end cooling we'll probably pick out of the back.
And we'll have to make sure we do extensive duct work on that front so that everything goes through the radiator. Doesn't go around it, you know, it has to be ducted right through the radiator.
Normally on the modifieds or the cup stuff, the opening is wider than it is long. Our opening is going to be taller than it is wide.
Right, so we'll have a narrow ductwork going out
Wider, but
yeah.
Taller. And
taller.
then this is a splitter off of one of the Hendrick cars. This is the splitter that they used to use. And we might do it in kind of three pieces because when we run the oval, I wouldn't run these corners. When we run the road course, I'd run the corners. So it's going to probably have to have just, you know, one style for the oval, and then again add the corners with the wings when we go to the road course. Because if we add the corners with the wings, it's going to help downforce, but it's also going to give us a place to put our brake ducts. So I'm thinking that we'll just come out here, build some structure off of this, and mount this in pieces that are just bolt-on and removable. And then through here, you know, obviously we're going to have air and whatnot coming through here. And I thought, you know, you were talking about exhausting it out somewhere, and I don't know what your ideas are for venting it outside.
Yeah, I was thinking what I would do is make the firewall out to here and then curve it into the back opening. And then you'd have another false firewall, which would be a thinner aluminum firewall, which it's probably more like ductwork than it is a firewall.
Right. And it'll be a belly pan, right? So it'll be nose down and tail up. Again, going back to old school, but being able to use the air to make that downforce.
Yeah, the sides of the car, we aren't gonna want this rolled in all the way to the bottom. You know, you're gonna want this to come straight at the wheel opening at least.
Straight or actually kicked out.
And then you're gonna want to. I mean, I'm all right with the roll here as long as it's straight back here, you know, and then flared into that, and then flared on the bottom, you know, from that up to the wheel opening.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to have plenty of time to play with that. And then we'll run side windows in here. It's as big and as flat as this thing is, it's going to create side force. But we're still going to have to take some air in somewhere to cool the trans and the gear. Also going to run a rear window because we want a nice clean airflow behind the car.
Right.
So we've got a ton of sheet metal work to do. We'll have to go steal some street signs.
Street signs. That's it.
Tune in to see what we do on next week's Big Iron Garage.